Hello, and welcome to the Lightworker Diaries, a space for reflection, truth-telling, and soulful remembering. My name is Tiffany, and I am a truth teller, a mystic, and a mirror. These are transmissions from my heart to yours, an archive of channeled wisdom, lived stories, and the real work of becoming. May something in here stir something in you. A few weeks ago, I was invited to stand on a stage and read something I had written. This was a dream, an intention that I had set the month before while working with a coach on my global voice. And I was at a writer's intensive, which was the perfect place to do it. There was an open mic night, and everyone had an opportunity to stand up and share something from their writing. And I remember thinking, this is perfect. I'm going to do it. I'm going to check this off my list. And yet, as I sat there, noticing people lining up in queue, I began to feel the sensations in my body that questioned, is this really a good idea? I did what I had to. I used my practices to ground myself, to anchor myself, to relax my nervous system. And I felt the practices working. I felt my body responding to the deep breathing and to the anchoring practices that I was using. And so in that moment, I got up and I got in queue. And I remember being in the line and thinking, just continue your practices. You're going to be okay. And I was, until the woman who stood up before me began sharing her story about a health tragedy. And health things have been a trigger for me since I was a child. In anatomy class in high school, I passed out 3 times because my nervous system couldn't handle the stories that were being shared and the embarrassment that was embedded deep within my soul, my being, because I had no control over my body when people told stories of injury was traumatic. And so as she's up there telling this story about overcoming a significant health challenge, I felt my body once again flare. It was telling me, get out of this line, go lay down on the ground. We're not safe here. And again, I told my body, we are. I put a hand on my heart. I breathed even slower. And I looked around the room, anchoring myself and my safety. As she walked off the stage, I checked in and I was convinced I had enough energy to do what I wanted to do. So I got up there, I started speaking, my voice quivered, my hands shook, and yet I continued. I read slowly, pausing to look around the room, engage with the people who were listening to me. And when I finished, I let myself receive a round of applause deep within. As I walked off that stage and walked back to my seat, several people were like, wow, you did a great job. That was amazing. And again, I just let myself receive it. I needed my body to learn that this was okay. I remember getting into the Uber and heading to the airport, texting all of my closest friends and partner and saying, I did it. I stood on this stage. I had this amazing experience, receiving their congratulations as well. And as that energy began to slowly, just very gently die down, I also heard a voice deep within me, a voice that said, I will never feel like that again. And you might be thinking, you don't get to just shut that off. And that's true. You don't. There's no on-off switch that you just get to tell your body, I'm not going to feel sensation. And it works like that. But what I did also remember was something that I had done at the beginning of the year. And I didn't realize it was working until it didn't work, until I had stopped doing it because I didn't even realize it was working. And then all of these sensations came back in the way that they did. And so you might be thinking, this is the strangest thing I have ever heard, but I do cold plunges to be a better writer. I do cold plunges so that I can stand on a stage at some point in the future and be unwavering and present in my resolve. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about how I got there. So, at the beginning of this year, I started feeling this sensation, this urge to start cold plunging. And it didn't come because I thought I was going to lose weight or all of the other health benefits that they talked about. I signed up for it because I wanted to build the mental resilience that I could do hard things. I wanted to teach my body and my mind that I could commit to discomfort and it wouldn't kill me. And so that's exactly what I did. I started on January 1st. I committed to 30 days, 2 minutes a day, cold plunge. And after that first 30 days, I had this weird, I like this feeling. And so I continued through February, through March, all the way until July. And it wasn't perfect, but I was doing it more days out of the week than not. Oftentimes going long stretches of doing it because I could feel something different within me. I could feel a shift happening. What I didn't realize when I stopped cold plunging was what it was doing for my nervous system. It wasn't just the mental resilience that said, don't think about getting in, just get in. It was also my body adjusting and building its strength internally to handle my sensitivity, to be able to do the deep breathing that keeps me anchored and present in the moment without collapsing. And so when July came and I slowly started to do less because the water wasn't as cold, and through August, it fell off my calendar, my habits, my routine, my rituals. I just stopped doing it. I was doing other things like going for walks and doing other things that felt good to my body. And so I thought, it's no big deal. And then September came around and I kept thinking, maybe I should get back into it. And that's when I started to notice some of the symptoms that I didn't realize had ended came back. I'm a highly sensitive person. And for most of my life, my adrenals have been shot. The hormones that make your body spring back from stress had been used so much, they just didn't work as effectively as they needed to. And so, as an example, if I lay down for a period of time, let's say I go to sleep overnight, when I wake up in the morning and get up to go to the bathroom, I usually can make it to the end of the bed before my vision almost goes completely black because I'm lightheaded. My blood pressure can't regulate itself. And that was the sign that I realized something had changed because in March, April, May, June, and July, that wasn't happening. I wasn't getting lightheaded when I get up in the morning. I could walk and do whatever I wanted to do. I probably could have jumped up and down if I wanted to, and my body was ready. And I didn't realize that I had rewired my nervous system and reset my adrenals to be able to be resilient in the face of uncertainty and in the face of discomfort. I didn't realize that that had happened until it wasn't happening again. And so that comes back to that moment as I was standing on stage and I was thinking to myself, there was a time earlier this year where people would tell me the health stories that had triggered me in that moment, and it didn't faze me. I could sit, I could listen, I could still feel what they were telling me in my body, and it was uncomfortable, but my body wasn't entering shutdown. I wasn't dropping into that freeze state that said, let's just play dead and maybe they'll stop telling me the story. So I want to share this story with you today because some people might think, why would you need to go through the extreme practice of cold plunging in order to be a better writer? And that's my choice. That's my practice that allows me to say, sensation is okay. I can be sensitive and still be okay. My sensitivity is not fragility. I'm not going to fall apart because my body can feel what you're telling me in its being. And so I've started my cold plunges again. I've added a sauna blanket, an infrared sauna blanket, because I also know in the past, traveling to warm places has been a challenge for me. My body's like, I'm not sure we can handle this. And I want to teach it that I can. I want to teach my body that I love it enough that I will do the work when no one's looking so I can be fully present when everyone is. So perhaps this is something that resonates. Perhaps you're a highly sensitive, or maybe even just you have a big dream and you know that it's going to require you to do things that are going to be uncomfortable. And I want you to maybe think about what practices build your inner strength and resilience when everything is in your court versus when the situation is so much bigger that you can't control the elements. How can you train for that day? How can you train for your big stage? How can you prepare your sweet body, your sweet and sensitive body, to do the things that your soul is asking you to do? And if you've heard this or if you've not heard this, I just want to remind you that your soul chose you for a reason. It chose the body that you're living in because it has a purpose for you. And it chose a dream for you that is possible because it knows that all the pieces that are needed are inside. So I hope that you take the steps that you need to take to train yourself to be able to fulfill your dream and do the thing that you came here to do, because you can. And I believe in you. Thank you for listening to the Lightworker Diaries. If something stirred in you today, take a breath and let it land. To go deeper, you can subscribe to the written diaries on Substack. You'll find a link in the show notes. Until next time, be true to you.